I'm Dr. Marisa Soler, and I'm a licensed psychologist, board-certified behavior analyst, and nationally certified school psychologist. How did I get there? I'll be quick, so if you have questions, just drop them in the comments. I completed my undergraduate studies at University of California, Santa Barbara, and while I was there in my 4 years of study, I double majored in psychology and Spanish, and I double minored in applied psychology and educational studies. I was also a research assistant in a clinical psychology lab, then a social psychology lab, and then a school psychology lab. And that helped me gain access to research opportunities, and I got to meet some different professors. It wasn't until my senior year that I knew I wanted to apply to graduate school, so it was a little bit too late. So with that being said, I went around campus and I chatted individually with the faculty members I had worked with, let them know that I was going to be applying to PhD programs in school psychology, and asked if it would be okay for me to reach out to them later on for a letter of recommendation. And all of them said that yes, it was okay, and so I kept that in my back pocket. During my gap year, I had to figure out how I was going to make money, and I landed on working in an ABA, or Applied Behavior Analysis clinic. During my time at the ABA clinic, I worked as a behavior tech, serving autistic individuals in their home and in community settings. Working in the field assured me that I knew I wanted to work with neurodiverse learners, and so I continued to prepare to apply to graduate programs. I was studying for the GRE, I was completing my personal statements, and acquiring those letters of rec that I had saved earlier. Additionally, I was interested in maybe pursuing a BCBA because I had heard that there were school psychologists in California who had the dual certification, and so I kept that in the back of my mind, and I was thinking about that as I was applying to different programs. Another important thing I did during my gap year was continue to engage in research, and so I had messaged a professor that was at the program I was hoping to get into and asked if there were any volunteer research assistant opportunities, and she let me know that yes, there were. She needed some help with some Spanish translation for a current research project, and that professor actually ended up being my later doctoral advisor. So with that being said, I submitted all of my materials, I began interviewing for programs, and I received an acceptance. I got into the program where I completed my PhD studies, which was Lehigh University in Eastern Pennsylvania. I was also super lucky because at that time they had just launched a BCBA course sequence that was approved by BACB, and they were launching a university-based autism clinic where students can gain their clinical hours. So I completed my BCBA while at Lehigh University. That was hard work because it was essentially another course of study on top of my PhD studies. With that being said, I'm currently working as a licensed psychologist, and I have my BCBA and NCSP, but I'm not really using them at the moment. If you have more questions, drop them.